All right, let's get in here right now. A YouTube extra. Read all about it. This is huge breaking news because when you see a former wrestler in the news for what we're about to talk about, it is head turning. But before we get into all that, welcome in the queen of extreme, Francine. How's it going tonight?
Well, let me tell you. Just washed my face, sat down. I said, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight and watch something and just relax. And then I was scrolling on my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, we have to record like right now. So that all went out the window. So I'm fresh faced. Look at me. No makeup on. Very fresh. And this is not a laughing matter, though. This literally turned my stomach when I read the headline, and I didn't read the article yet because I figured we'd go through it together. But it's Duke the Dumpster Droese, and if anybody remembers him, he was I would say a mid-card level talent in WWF back in the day. I remember him. He had like a trash man gimmick, or
yep.
It's
time to take out the trash.
Sure. And I never really looked him up to see if there was any dirt on him, but I never heard anything negative about him. So this kind of comes as a shock to me. But apparently, he has been indicted by a Tennessee grand jury after he allegedly attempted to purchase CP. And if you don't know what that is, you could look it up. And this was last year, which the story, I saw it just broke an hour ago. You said you saw it this morning. Real name, Michael Droese. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Known as Duke the Dumpster Droese, worked from 1994 to 1996, short run. I thought he was there longer than that. That's what this article says. WWE to actually WWF days from 94 to 96, facing one count of attempted, I don't know if I could say this, sexual exploitation of a minor.
We'll try it.
Okay, it's a Class D felony after the FBI was tipped off to allegations. Apparently, he was on the dark web using something called Coinbase. Is that crypto?
That's a form of it. There's so many these days. I guess that's just something you can purchase.
And this was back in April of 2024. The company actually flagged him for doing that and I guess reported him. The transaction was terminated. And Coinbase notified the FBI. And then they passed along a tip to the sheriff's department. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was brought in and an investigation started on him. So, I don't know if he's a parent. I don't know if he has any children, but I'm a parent. You're a parent. I know there's parents watching right now. It makes me sick to my stomach. To think of I just can't. To think of an adult doing something like this makes me absolutely sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
And wrestling already has, I said this so many times, it already has a dark cloud over it. Do we really need another bad story in the mix?
No, and there hasn't been one like this in quite a while. And actually, I'll give you a little background. He was a special education teacher in McMinnville, Tennessee.
A teacher.
But let me finish. About 12 years ago, okay? He had to resign from that position because he was arrested for he was indicted on 3 counts of delivery of controlled substances, having sold oxycodone and buprenorphine to an undercover police informant in July 2013, where he served 30 days in prison and fined $2,000. So he had some legal issues prior, but from what I understood, he had been very much an advocate. I had thought in recent years for people who were suffering from substance abuse. So I guess he, just had some things he was just looking for, I guess, and that was not a good thing to do. And yeah, this is not good.
So being a teacher, let alone a special ed teacher, and then being charged with this, I mean, what does that tell you about our schools?
I couldn't tell you that.
You could.
I could not.
What do you think?
Well, it's all about background checks.
Right. But like can you dive deep enough to know what people are researching in the privacy of their own home?
You can't. You absolutely
You
can't.
cannot. Right.
Cannot.
Right.
Only if they slipped up and did it on a device that was linked to the school itself or something like that. But, they have to also, and this is something that public schools are definitely not going to do, but they're not going deep into like psychological exams and going that deep into analysis because they're just so desperate for bodies to have them come in. They'll take anybody who's certified enough to come in and be in a classroom, especially in a special education environment, because it's so desperate for people. So that's a story for a different day.
Right. And a big part of us pulling our kids, because if you know me and you watch this channel, I'm open about it. We homeschool. And like you read all these things about these teachers, and I'm not saying all of them are bad, because there are some good-hearted teachers out there who care about the children. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying everybody's bad, but you see all this stuff about teachers who you entrust your children with, and you drop off there, and they're supposed to protect them and teach them for 8 hours out of the day. And then you find out all this stuff.
Horrible. It's
disgusting. And that's another reason why I'm happy that my kids are with me and my husband, because I love my children and I would never, ever want anything bad to happen to them. Not everybody's in my position that can homeschool. I get it. There are 2-parent families. There are some, that just don't like the idea of homeschooling. It's not for everybody. But when you see stuff like this, and you realize that there are teachers out there that are predators, it just makes you think like, oh my gosh, it's a scary, scary world.
He also had his left foot amputated due to a staph infection.
Oh, well, so, I mean,
can't really say that justifies the.
I don't think that
the ends, but
yeah, I don't think it does. It's just another story that just makes me want to puke.
Yeah. And
it's
no, this is bad. Like you said, going back to, a black eye on the wrestling world, again, he didn't have the longest run in mainstream pro wrestling, but that does not matter at the current time. Those 2 years, a year and a half, or whatever he had will carry him throughout this entire legal process. It will always be former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Droese, blah, 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 indicted, blah, 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 serving time, blah, 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 purchasing, blah, blah, blah. And that's the unfortunate part that I'm sure for you as a performer is very frustrating, that people who do put black eyes on the industry like this, the cup of coffee that they might have had just, is going to carry now throughout, and everybody's going to say negative things, and it's just going to be because one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and man, we need to protect our children. That's at all costs, and people like that should be in jail for a very, very long time. Hey there, it is the Queen of Extreme, Francine from ECW. Do you want to see more of me? Click over here to watch another video, or click over here to listen to my podcast. As always,